Magneto is the best tank in the game, and let me show you why. Not only does he have a shield and a knockback ability, he has a second shield, and he can put that shield on teammates, which is crazy. The number one thing you're going to want to remember when you're playing Magneto is that he is a tank's tank. He's not like, you know, a Captain America or a Venom. He is a wall. So when you play Mag, it should be as if you're playing a wall for your team, like a brick wall where nothing's getting past you. And if it does, then you just start slowly fading away like, you know, LeBron or something. One of the most important things about Magneto is actually his combo that people don't really talk about too much, or enough rather. So if I was to go ahead and just smack these bots, right, with my primary, obviously you can see if I miss, it does no damage, but you can see it does have an explosion radius. So if I were to get this close but not exactly on him, he still does take damage, which is really, really good. So if you miss, it still does explode around, what is this, maybe, I don't know, 24 meters, 23, 24 meters. So around that distance, it does explode if you get it near them. But the cool thing about Magneto is, if you hit one of these, and then you hit the mag cannon, which is your secondary ability, you can do something like this, which is a crazy combo. So that's primary, then the mag cannon, and then primary once again. And because the mag cannon actually stuns any enemy that's moving, so if we hit it on one of these guys, it stuns them for a second before they start walking again. You can actually make it so that any hard to hit character does not get away from you, which is really, really good, because a lot of the times, especially on a character like Mag, you're going to be missing a lot because his primary is actually super slow. Even if I hold it down, he is still pretty slow. So you want to make sure you can slow people down as much as humanly possible. Now, if you have a character that's like diving you like crazy, like let's say you have this like super arrogant Wolverine, you know, because Wolverine's a huge problem, your melee is actually really useful. So the melee is really good as well. The team up that Scarlet Witch had with him, I will forever miss. We don't have that anymore, but it made his melee even better. But yeah, so just make sure you throw that in there every once in a while. It actually does save your cheeks, your buns, as it were, quite a bit. It does a pretty good amount of damage, especially in between your slow primaries. Now, the second most important thing is, or arguably the first most important thing, is probably shielding your teammates. And I say the combo is most important because, I mean, I think shielding is pretty self-explanatory, but most people don't know about the combo. This shield that you have is not like Doctor Strange. It's not, let me turn the practice settings off. It's not like Doctor Strange. It's not permanent. So if I were to click this and keep it up, you can see it has on the right-hand side, it has a cooldown. Not only do I have a charge on it, but I have a cooldown as well. Bottom right, you see there's a cooldown on it, and there's also a charge bar for how long I can hold it out. Which means, even if your cooldown's ready, you might not have any shield. Which means you gotta be super careful with how long you have this out and when you choose to use it. So I wouldn't just be shielding this for anything just randomly just because you want to. So I'd be super, super stingy about when you're popping this shield out, and more stingy about when you're either bubbling yourself or bubbling a teammate. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, almost 80% of the time, you should not be bubbling yourself. Any mag that's bubbling themselves is playing the game super wrong. I'm telling you right now. It's just you're playing too much for yourself. What's most important is playing for your team, because this guy right here, staying alive, is way more important than me bubbling myself. I have 650 HP, and this guy probably has, what, 200, 150? You know, so keeping your team alive is the more important thing, because if you look at the cooldown, bottom right, that bubble comes back every 12 seconds. And if you bubble somebody else on your team, you cannot bubble yourself. It's an either or. You make a sacrifice play. It's not you can bubble someone else and yourself. Also, as you can see there, if you can get two people together and explode it together, then you will hit both of them, which is also very cool. So there's that. Now, the most important thing about his ult, you'll get a lot of different people saying a bunch of different things like, oh my god, use it for this, use it for that, don't use it for this, don't use it for that. The most important thing about his ult is that you just get something out of it. Now, a lot of people will have a problem with me saying this, but I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter if you kill 3 people, it doesn't matter if you kill 5. If you can kill everyone, obviously that's great, you know, but what's more important is don't look for the big plays. Look for the small plays. So what I mean by that is, you don't want to go ahead and go, oh my god, I can get 3 people here. I can kill all 2 of them. I can kill 2 of them. Oh no. Because what you did was you went for more than one person, so you didn't get anything. You know what I mean? And because these are bots, obviously I got the picks on them after just like hitting a little melee. But what you're gonna want to do is focus on one person. So you want to focus on a Luna. You want to focus on any support you can see. You want to focus on someone, not a tank, unless, like, you know, the tank is super low and you think you can kill the tank and maybe somebody else with it. But again, you want to go for one person. So you want to pick this guy right here. You go boom, pop it right there. And obviously if people were shooting my ult, if this was a real game, then he'd be dead. You want to hit as direct as possible. And you do not want to go after more than one target for the most part. Again, if everyone's low, get around it, do it, go for it. But again, if you're looking to pick one person, you want as much value from your ult as humanly possible. So the more you can get from killing one person, that will do way more than you if you were to kill 3 people, or try to kill 3 people, because you probably won't kill 3 people. The radius is pretty small, unless everyone's super low, and you probably not gonna get that off. Now, the other super important thing I need to tell you is his ult works kind of cool. And I'll probably throw some clips in if I haven't already. I'll probably throw some clips in and show you more like of in-game stuff. Because I love showing things in the practice range, but real game footage is always really good too. So if I was to go ahead and show you his ult against actual people. So if we have some Lunas here, you know, trying to get active and doing some crazy cool things, if I'm like, I want to kill all 3 of them, I'm probably not going to. So we look at one of them and we try to get as close as possible. Now that wasn't as close as humanly possible, but it was still good enough to get the pick on her, obviously. Now, what you're gonna notice is that when you pop his ult, it kind of charges up. So I'm gonna let it bust here. And if I go ahead, you see the center, how it has a little circle there? When that reaches the end, or when it takes enough damage, it will explode. So if I were to go outside and pop this, you can see that it'll pop as soon as the bar goes all the way down. And then it'll throw it on its own. I didn't press any button. It threw it. I did not press anything. It threw it on its own. I did not press the button again for do it. It threw it on its own. Now, what that means is that these Lunas did enough damage to explode my ult before it got to the end of its life. Now, they didn't do enough that time, but if I was playing against, you know, a full real team, then they most likely are going to explode my ult every time. And if I show you with a character that does way more damage than they do, like a Punisher, for example, you can see that when I pop my ult, it will most likely break. Especially if, you know, there's more than one person shooting at the same time, like this, because all the bullets get sucked up, and as you can see, it didn't even get halfway out. Holy moly, they did so much damage to it. It didn't even get halfway before it exploded. So, what you want to do here is you need to gauge the situation to see when you need to throw this. Because the longer you hold it, the more damage it does, but the longer you hold it, the more chance it has for it to explode. So if you look at my crosshair underneath, like at the bottom, see how it's charging up? When it gets to 100, it explodes, you see? So there it goes. It gets to 100, and when people are shooting, they're shooting, boom. My recommendation, as soon as it hits 80, no matter what's happening, you throw it. No matter what happens, you just throw it. If you can get it closer, like you can get it 95, you know, it might go off, but my recommendation is, as soon as it hits 80, no matter what, throw it. But you need to be lining up a shot before you see it get that close, because you might not have time to adjust to aim and actually throw it and hit something. So be super aware that when you pop this, if no one is shooting at this, it will do way less damage. But if people are shooting at it, it's good because it'll do more damage. But the longer you let them shoot at it, the more damage it will take, and it will explode before you have the chance to throw it out. Again, it is quality over quantity here. So if you want to hit a good ult, go boom, pick one person out, and then see if you can clean it up with your primary and with the rest of your team doing some crazy attacks afterwards. But you do not want to go for like the whole team at a time. You want to pick somebody and take them out of the game. Now let's say you're fighting 3 Groots for some reason. When you ult this, you're gonna get look at this, it says 15. You're gonna get absolutely no damage out of that, right? So if you look at it again, because the Groots aren't throwing projectiles and their bullets are their hands, nothing's getting sucked up. You see it says 2-7. So when I throw this, it's not gonna do any damage. You see how much damage it did? It did almost no damage to him. So again, you're gonna wanna wait until you see things going off that are like, you know, that are gonna charge up your ult for you, okay? So now, if you're fighting Cloak and Daggers, right? Oh my god, they're low-key out here moving. What the hell? Oh my... Now, for practice for this, I really recommend coming in here and then going into the settings and then changing move speed to super fast. Now, this is going to be way faster than they are in game, and I recommend putting it on 3 so you can get an idea of, like, you know, aiming at one person and then applying that and then turning control switch on. Now, heavily recommended that you pick one person, like I said, and then kind of just go after them. And now this will make it even harder to hit because they're moving way faster than normal. So if you can hit this consistently in here, there's no reason as to why you couldn't hit it in a real game. And also, it gets a lot easier the closer you are, but once again, it makes you less safe because it means you're sucking up more damage. So if you can go ahead and get as close as possible, you can probably hit it just like that every time, and then clean this up with your primary or you know, mag cannon and whatnot. So, all right, now as per usual, I never talk about team ups, but because the team up in this case is actually pretty cool, I'll do it for a second. Because they usually change, so it's kind of pointless to talk about team ups. But his team up with Emma right now it makes it so that there's 2 of you, basically. So they don't know which one's which. So you can kind of just get away with doing this, and then it kind of goes away. I can turn that on. It kind of goes away. You know, it has a certain amount of cooldown. You shoot, you don't do damage. It's all visual. So it's not like you're doing double damage. It's literally just visual. They don't know which one's you. So it's just really cool. So keep that in mind. If you need to get out of a situation, you need to, you don't want to be found for a second. Just pop this. You have a 50-50 chance of them hitting which one you are. And that's really cool. So one more thing I want to talk about that no one talks about is that he actually has a slow fall. So if I'm going to just jump off this cliff here, you can see if I don't do anything, he kind of just falls normally. But while I'm falling, if I press the jump button again, you can see I can slowly descend, which is actually super useful in more cases than people think that it is. So he actually does have a slow fall instead of just jumping off and falling like that. Lastly, just your mindset with mag should just be, like I said in the beginning of the video, just a tank mindset. You should never, ever be behind your team. So if you catch yourself behind your team, you got to step up. You got to step up. You have to have that confidence because, like I said, Mag is a scary tank. He is just in your face, and he's just like such a dominant force that you do not want to be behind your team. You want to be pushing. Think of playing Mag as like you're pushing a brick wall closer and closer to your enemies so that your team can walk up and take space. Because what you're doing is you're making space for your team. That's your #1 job as a tank, especially as Mag. Your #1 job is to take space and gain space for your team so your team can walk up comfortably. Now, this does not mean to only do what I'm doing and walk forward and never turn around and never look behind you, because if you have a magic on the opposite team and you're doing this, your team could be back there dying. So what you need to do is every once in a while, even if you think nothing's behind you, even if you think you know what's behind you, you need to be doing like this and then popping one of these, just making sure, and then turning back around and then doing what you do. You know what I mean? Because you could miss a Black Panther dashing back there, you could miss a Magic, you could miss a Spider-Man, and if you can save a singular support from getting Spider-Man ulted like this, boom! Then, you know, that support could pop their ult, and then you could live. Obviously, this, you know, is a bot, and he's an idiot, so he didn't do that. But, you know, aside from that, you need to be aware of what's happening with your team. I've seen so many tank players have the great confidence, the great mental, the mindset for a tank. I'm going to be in their face, I'm literally pushing up, I'm making space, and they think that that's all they do. I've had so many tanks that have been tanking with me, or I've been on DPS or support or whatever, and they're like, guys, what happened? How did we lose that? I was literally in their spawn. Yeah, that's the problem. That's why you lost, is because you're just in their spawn way too much, and you're way too far up, and it's like, man, you've got to turn around and make sure your team is all right. See, he would have died if I didn't bubble him right there. You know what I mean? So if you have a teammate that's a dive, so if you have a Magic or a BP or a Spider-Man and they're in like crazy situations and they need a little bit of support, you can always just go look over, boom, chuck a little bubble on them before they die. They can get back to the back line, the supports can heal them. It just goes really well. Now, lastly, sorry I broke this up into 2 pieces, but earlier when I said you should never bubble yourself, that 10-20% of the time where you should be bubbling yourself, that should be a situation where you know that you need to get out of the situation and nobody around you is really in trouble but you. If you're the only person that's in trouble, go ahead, bubble yourself, go boom, you know, you're out of there. Now, if you look at my back right now, one of the most important things about his mag cannon, which I should have said earlier, but I didn't, but it's fine. The most important thing about his mag cannon is knowing how to use it. So basically, If you just throw it at someone, you see it'll knock them back. A great bit of deal. You see when I throw it, 1 ring pops back up, and then 2 rings pop back up, and then the 3rd ring is the final ring, and then that's the one that, you know, looks cool and spins and does all that stuff. So, if I were to use this with all 3 of my rings, you see in the center of my screen, it has the 3 little arrows. If I do that, it knocks them back. Now, if I use it with just 1, it does damage, but doesn't knock them back. And if I use it with 2 little arrows or rings, you see, it doesn't knock them back, but it does more damage. Now, my heavy recommendation to you is you should never be using your mag cannon unless it has all 3 arrows and all 3 circles. So, unless it has 3 circles, don't use it. Because what you can do here is you can get a little combo. 1, and then 2, and then 3. See, that same combo, the 1, 2, 3 combo, the primary, mag cannon, and primary, does not kill a squishy, which is crazy. So, with it full on all 3 circles, all 3 arrows in the middle of your screen, it is a 3 tap. So, keep that in mind. I would only ever use 2 or 1 of the circles and or arrows in the middle of your screen. I would only use that if I just missed, wow. I would only use that if I knew for a fact that they would die without it. So if you're too far away to melee them, but you know they're gonna die, and if you don't do it right now, they might get away, then I would use the 1 or 2, but I would really strongly recommend you waiting until you have all 3 ready to go, until that thing in the middle of your screen turns purple, and or you have all 3 circles. The 3 circles and the arrows, I'm saying both of them, but it's the same thing. It's just one's in the middle of your screen on your GUI, and one is on your character itself, so it's the same thing. The circles on the back of Magneto and the arrows that are purple at the bottom of your crosshair is the same thing. So, yeah, that's the super most important thing about his mag cannon, because the mag cannon is the strongest thing you have in your kit, 100%. The mag cannon is so strong. It's a stun, it's a knockback, and it does damage all at the same time. It's so insanely powerful. It is crazy. So keep that in mind, and you shall be good Magneto player. Good Magneto player. I am currently Lord Magneto, and I have like 29 or so something hours on him. I love him. He's one of my favorite characters, top 3 to me. He's the best tank in the game, and he probably always will be, unless they, like, you know, nerf him to hell. So if you get good on Magneto, everybody else is going to be kind of easier to get really good on. So yeah, get out there and have some fun on Magneto, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Hope you learned something new, man. I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Let me know what character you were trying to learn, or you want me to make a little guide for in the near future. I made a Magneto one. Well, of course I made a Magneto one. You're watching it. I made a Moon Knight one, and I've made a Strange one in the past. I want to do more for the other lords that I have. I should do an Emma one. I should have done an Emma one a while ago. I'm Lord Emma, and I want to do a Lord Emma, so I probably will do that as well. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time, man. Take care of yourself, dude. Peace.